Hello, Monday. Hello, Monday. That's right. It's Monday. We're back. And if you notice, that song that was just playing is called Back in the New York Groove by one Ace Frehley, who unfortunately passed away in the last couple days, 3 days, 4 days, last week maybe, or Friday or something. Not sure the exact date. I remember he did die, though. And yeah, that's too bad. That's too bad because when I grew up back in the early 70s, I saw him, and they were called the Wicked Lesters. And I saw them at the Diplomat Hotel in New York City in Manhattan, downtown 43rd Street, in a little bar at the Diplomat Hotel. They didn't even have makeup on yet. The early 70s, called Wicked Lester, was the band that he was there with of course, Gene Simmons, Paul Stanley, Peter Criss. But it's too bad he died, man. These guys, I've seen them a lot of times, and Kiss, one of my favorite bands, Kiss, Alice Cooper. I mean, it doesn't get better than that. They were two of my favorites back in the day. Seen them many, many, many times. Always put on a great show, and they weren't so much about the music. A lot of people said they weren't that great musicians or anything else, but you couldn't take anything away from them as far as their stage presence and just fun to go see. Rest in peace, Ace. You're going to be missed. Of course, my name is Paul K. Lemire. This is Your City, Your Voice, coming to you live, downtown Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada, in the studios of 4680Q. You can listen live anytime you like. Just go to 4680q.com and hit the play button, and you will be listening to great music as well as listening to all the shows live. And I don't know, there's a whack of people doing shows now. I can't even go through them all. There's a whole bunch of them. But tune in. You're going to catch somebody good talking about all different things. Everybody's got a different show, a lot of music shows, one all in Spanish. There's a plethora of shows happening. So, get on there, 4680Q, and check out some of the shows. So I woke up this morning, 5 o'clock. Heavy rain, 53 degrees at 5 o'clock. Yeah, it felt like 43 degrees out there, with the barometer sitting at 2,900, which is low, 29.00. I mean, that's low. Usually it's 29.45 around here, and a high pressure under a low pressure, which means rain, high humidity. But you know what? Temperatures are getting more seasonable now, so we are saying welcome to October. And this kind of weather that we're seeing right now isn't going to go anywhere. It's sticking around till at least the end of the month, in the mid 50s, something like that. Too bad, a rainy forecast so far for Halloween night, 75% chance of rain. Let's hope that changes for the kids. Hate to see the kids wandering around in miserable weather. They're out there to have a good time. It's pouring rain and that. Not much of a good time on Halloween. So hopefully it stays dry. Kids get out and have a great, great time. Now, of course, if you want to comment during the show, you can do it now, because I have this little puppy here, compliments of Gary Wilkins, where you can text me messages about the show. Whatever I'm saying, you can text me and give your opinion on it or tell me what you think. The number is very simple: 289-994-7560. That's right, 289-994-7560. And I'll do it Peter Dichter style right now. 289-994-7560. There you go. Yeah, text me if you have something to say or you don't agree with me or whatever. I'll talk about it on the air. If you text swear words and cusses and stuff like that, then I'll have to leave them out. I mean, it's internet radio, so we can basically swear if we want. It's not my style. I don't do that. So, yeah, so I'll clip them out, but I will say what your comment says, basically. So, as this weather, we see it changing. right? What you want to do is make sure your car is running tip top. And that's where you go to one of our sponsors, Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, and get your car checked out. Our other two sponsors, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue. When you need a great pizza, that's where you go. And Hamel Machine Company. Been here since 1948. But back to your car. You know what? We're going to start getting these rainy days and this and that. And at the end of the day, the last thing you want is for your car to break down and you standing out in the rain like a Mama Luke waiting for CAA. So what do? You make sure that you take your car into Wild Bill and get Ken Hunter to check it out. That's right. He'll throw your car on his diagnostic equipment. He's going to let you know what any error codes are that pop up. And then he's going to give you a price to repair them so that you don't break down. Everything's running right. He's going to check your brakes, your defroster, your heater system, everything you need for a nice, calm motoring of winter. Throw those snow tires on. You got it made. Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Oakwood Drive, next to the Kia dealership. Hey, how can you go wrong? WildBillsAuto.ca is the website to see all the different services he provides. And he runs the gamut. Believe me, he does everything. Full body shop, get in a wreck, he'll fix your car, send it back to you in showroom condition. Now, while you're at his website, just jump over to YouTube and subscribe to my channel, Paul Lemire, or Your City, Your Voice. Subscribe to the channel, give us a thumbs up, thumbs down, leave a comment. You can do all that there. It's free, no charge to sign up. You just hit subscribe. And you'll even get notifications when I drop a video. I usually put these videos on by about 3 in the afternoon. So you can go and check it out and watch it live if you missed it. Or not watch it live, watch it on video if you missed it live on 4680q.com. So there you go. Come on, let's sign up. It helps the algorithm. It helps get this video out to more people. The more the merrier. We have an election coming up in a year. We want to make sure that we get more people out to vote. It's your city, your voice, your money, your taxes that they are spending. It makes sense that you should know what's going on. This is the place you come to find out what's going on. And speaking of what's going on, Alan McKay from the Property Taxpayers Group, he is coming in. Property Taxpayers Alliance. I always get it wrong, but that's what it is. Alan McKay's coming in, and we're going to talk about the region, and that's going to be this Friday. So you got to tune in on Friday, and of course, we're going to run the gamut of the shows. Trash Talk on Tuesday tomorrow, Absolutely Wednesday, and Straight Talk Thursday on Thursday, which will be my show number 600 officially. So interesting week coming up with Alan McKay finishing it off. Next week on Monday, a week today, will be City Council Agenda Review because there is a City Council meeting on the Tuesday. So we'll do that, and I'll do my regular Trash Talk on Tuesday show, Absolutely Wednesday. Thursday, I'll be reviewing the City Council meeting. I always have some choice words for our city councilors, and then we move on with the Friday show. So, that takes us probably right to the end of the month. So we only have a couple weeks left here. So, I got a message that came in. Hear that little dingy ding dang dang? Matthew Chenorio, hope you are doing well. Let's get together for a coffee. Matthew, yes. Yes, that's a great idea, Matthew. And he is working with an agri-military museum at the old armory. And they have a meeting with the city and council on the 28th. So talk about city council. Matthew, you got in just in time. It's open to the public to attend because they are trying to save the armory. If you remember a few weeks ago, I talked about going to the armory to raise money to try to keep it open. It hasn't been declared as surplus land yet by the city, I don't think. But it's been around since 1911, and the museum in there is phenomenal. If you get a chance, stop by and walk in the back door and go see this museum. It's great. It's a big parking lot out back. And it'll blow your mind what's in there. War memorabilia from World War I, World War II, separated by Air Force, Navy, and Army. And it even has a section for blacks that fought for Canada in the war, which is really, really interesting. So, I mean, it's a great, great place to go see. I'll tell you that right now. So, yes, Matthew, we will get together, and I want to get Matthew on the show. He's also, I think, an author. I can't have his card here with me, but Matthew's a smart guy. He does a lot of stuff. I'd love to have him on the show to talk about the city, talk about the armory, and what he does. Anyway, we'll get him on. Let's see. Next week should be a pretty good week towards the end of the week. Maybe I'll try to get him in here. Okay, let's move on with the show. And like I say, if you have a comment or you have a message, text, or something, yeah, get it in. Get it in. I'll read it on the air. Let's give a happy birthday to Clifton Hill. That's right. Same age as my mother, 100 years. Only my mother can play cribbage because she beat me 2 out of 3 games yesterday. I don't think Clifton Hill can play cribbage. But 100 years ago, the circus we now know as Clifton Hill began on one side of Clifton Hill, owned by the Berlin family. They've owned it for forever, 5 generations. It's still owned by the Berlin family, as a matter of fact. Now, there's a big picture there, and they started out as like a campground with a bunch of tents on Clifton Hill years ago. And the Berlins own the north side of Clifton Hill, and the Oaks own the south side. And I think Clifton Hill at that time might have even been called Ferry Street. I don't know. I think it was. I think it was called Ferry Street back then, not Clifton Hill. But we're kind of going back to the future because there's 10 cities all over the city now. So we're going back to tents. We regressed in Niagara Falls back to the early 1900s. How about that? Isn't that something? Yeah, it's spread through the city, the tents. The Oaks family owns the south side, like I said, heirs to the Oaks fortune amassed by Harry Oaks, the guy that stepped off a train and hit the gold jackpot in northern Ontario. The hill, as locals call it, is the center of tacky entertainment for Niagara Falls. If you come here though, there's one thing about Clifton Hill. No matter what you do, if you come to Niagara Falls as a tourist, you got to see Clifton Hill. You got to go down Clifton Hill and see what's going on there. I mean, if you don't go down Clifton Hill and you visit Niagara Falls, it'd be like going to Atlantic City and not hitting the boardwalk, or going to LA and not hitting Disneyland. It's just something to see. And, locals are not impressed, and they seldom visit Clifton Hill. But you can get it because it is tourist. It is a tourist place, and also it's overpriced. And to get down to it's pretty tacky, really. But at the end of the day, I'm going to tell you. If I was a tourist coming into Niagara Falls, the hill would blow me away. I would love it. I love this kind of stuff whenever I go anywhere. I want to see these carnivals and what's going on. It's just a place you could go down there, have a couple drinks, hang around, have a good time, get up on that Ferris wheel. I mean, it's fantastic. Then you get to the bottom of Clifton Hill, and you're in the boat, hornblower boats, and the Parks Commission, which is always fantastic. So yeah, you got to get to Clifton Hill no matter what. But 100 years old, here's to 100 more. And thank you so much to Ray Spateria, the review, for the article in the review. And if you get a chance, read the article. He goes into a lot more depth than I did. And there you go. There you go. You can read all about it. Read all about it. Extra, extra. And Pat Sirianni gave me a thumbs up, probably because I mentioned the armory and the fundraising, because we want to save the armory, and that's a good thing. That's highly involved in that. And he was the one manning the barbecues, cooking up the big hot dogs and hamburgers when we were there a couple Saturdays ago to donate to try to save the armory. Raise some money. Okay, so, I hate to keep talking about this, but they won't leave it alone. They won't leave it alone and just let it go. So I got to keep talking about it because every day you see something in the paper. And, these people are really bamboozled by these speed cameras. They really, really are. People just don't get it. They really think they work. that hitting your neighbor with a $120 fine for going 2 kilometers over the speed limit is a good thing. I mean, it's crazy. So now the parents are going to rally on Monday. That's today. Now, doesn't anybody work anymore? Maybe not. With Carney, they're all laid off. There's no work. All the companies are leaving. So they got time to go out and protest against Edsel Ford banning speed cameras. He's going to get rid of the one-eyed bandits, and these parents who are protesting. No, they're not the No Kings. We'll talk about them later. They're no one-eyed bandit protesters. These ones, and they're not funded by George Soros. But they want to protest the Edsel Ford's announcement probably this week, maybe, about getting rid of these one-eyed bandits. They want to keep the program going and expand on it. I mean, these people got to be wacky. Oh yeah, they're marching in Toronto, Vaughan, Midland, Kitchener-Waterloo, and Ottawa. Every woke city in the province is going to be having a marching. I wouldn't doubt if you see them somewhere around Niagara. There's a lot of woke people here. Taking the day off work, I guess. Well, probably most of them, like I said, don't work. My buddy Tony Nero said the camera on Thoroldstone Road is after the school at St. Thomas More Church. They slow down after the school. What good is that? Where's the safety of that? They should have it before the school so people slow down before they come to the school. No? I don't know. It's just a bunch of baloney. I've gone through this a million times with everything. There's no problem. These people are making it a problem. And the city's rubbing its hands at the thought of, oh boy, money. Money. Dun, 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 dun. Yep. They hit the jackpot with these things, and now it's going to be taken away from them. It's like winning the lottery, and then somebody saying, oh, there was this mistake. There were the wrong numbers we posted. You didn't win. I mean, I would love to. I'd love to send these protesters some rolling coal. Rolling coal. Say no to speed cameras and keep your hard-earned money in your pocket. Enough said. And I don't think I'm going to talk about it anymore. I just hope he gets rid of them and ends this torture. It's torture to see these people always talking about it and not getting it. Throw up some signs, crosswalks, blinking signs. I don't know, speed humps. I don't care what you do. There's a lot of different ways, but you don't have to hammer people who are already feeling the pinch of a possible 6% tax increase, huge increases at the region, and everything else in their life, groceries and everything. They don't need another $120 ticket for going 2 kilometers over the speed limit. Thank you very much. Don't talk about it anymore. Ford, get rid of it. Get rid of it. Okay, speaking of politics, did you see that Mr. Rogers, old chili con carnage, was at Niagara Falls? He was in Niagara Falls. And what did he do? He visited the Rainbow Bridge. Visited the Rainbow Bridge. How about that, huh? The rainbow. The rainbow. The Rainbow Bridge. Excuse me. And he announced that he's hiring 1,000 more CBP, Customs and Border Patrol agents. I think it's called CBSA here. Customs and Border Security Agency or so. But either way, wow. The government is the only company hiring in Canada right now. 1,000 more agents to do what? I mean, where's he going to get the money to hire 1,000 new agents? Number one, where's the money coming from? We're going in debt $2 trillion for Canada. Where's the money coming from? I mean, I'd like to have an answer to that, but we'll never see it. Most companies are heading to the green grass of the USA. So now Chile says that getting 1,000 more is going to cost the taxpayers $1,617 million over 5 years. More money than that we don't have. But hey, when you're $2 trillion in debt, what's another $500 million? Yeah, another billion here or there. Nothing. He says the CBSA is using advanced technology at the bridge. Well, if you want a more secure country, start deporting the people that are here illegally that you let in, the terrorists. Start arresting and incarcerating the ones that are here illegally and committing crime, and start deporting expired visas. You know, all those visas that expire, 1.2 million of them in January, and all those people are still here. They don't even know where the hell they are. Yeah. How about getting rid of them? How about the 50,000 students who got student visas and never showed up for a day of class? They're still wandering around the country. That would be a start. Close the ports of entry. That would be another good start. Don't let these guys in. Don't let these refugees in, these terrorists. You got to close the airports and seaports where they're coming in from. And, we're not talking people who, when you pull up to the border, say, "Where were you born? And where are you going?" Not those people. We don't want to hire those people. What we need is people, ice, and start rounding up the ones that are already here. Take care of that problem first, those criminals, and then we start taking on not letting anybody else in. That'd be a good one. And then you need the 1,000 people to start rounding up that are already here causing trouble. It's like Trump. He's shut down the southern border. Now that's that. Now he's going out and getting them in the Caribbean and these drug dealers and everybody. It's the people that are already here that are causing the problem. So let's deal with them first. If you want to hire 1,000 people, hire 1,000 ICE immigration people and go get them. They claim adding these new officers will help crack down on the movement of stolen goods, illegal guns and drugs, enforce import measures, and investigate unfair trade practices. Whoop-de-doo. Whoop-de-doo. None of these address the issue at hand: unfettered immigration from terrorist countries and the diploma mills that use fake student visas to bring thousands of illegals into the country. So that's what we got to take care of first. We got to take care of what's here and weed them out and get rid of the ones that are criminals, that are on parole, that are expired visas, that don't have visas all here illegally. Got to get rid of them. Send the Palestinians back home. The war's over. There's a ceasefire, although there's a couple little skirmishes going on right now. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, we can send them home. They don't have to be here anymore. The ones you see protesting and throwing smoke bombs and blocking roads, yeah, with the scarves on, you send them all back. It's over. The war's over. Go home. Build up your country. But hiring 1,000 more agents for the border, I don't know if that's the right way to put them. I think we should create our own version of ICE and put them there, round everybody up. We need Alberta Alcatraz. Alberta Alcatraz. Yeah, that's what we need. When we get our house in order, then they can be dispatched to the borders to make sure it stays in order. That would be the good thing for the 1,000. So that's what we got to do. I don't know what Carnage is doing because, I mean, let's face it, the Liberals want more. They're going to let it another 500,000 this year, 300,000. So they're not looking to calm everything down, to stop and freeze it for 5 years to give Canadians a break. Let us catch our breath and get the people who are here legally, because that's what we want. The people who are here legally and they're working in that, we want to get them assimilated into the community and have them being contributing members of society. But we can't achieve that until we stop the immigration now. We got to stop it, put a freeze on it. Be very careful who we let in. Trades or jobs or wwhatever that we need. Just opening the borders, keeping them open, is stupid. I mean, all Carnage has to do is talk to Trump. He'll tell you exactly who needs to be stopped. He'll tell Carney who they are if he's too dumb to figure it out. In the U.S., 175,000 people have applied to join ICE and take back America. You think Carney would start a Canadian ICE to take care of business in Canada? No, 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 no. Anyway, thanks to Reese Materi for the article in the review. You can go and read it in the review. Now I want to get to my second sponsor, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue. And you know, it's easy to get a Pete's Pizza. You just pick up the phone and dial 905 374 2222. You're going to catch the store on Victoria Avenue. I didn't look, I got to look up the phone number for the new store. There's a new one in Northwest Niagara Falls, Kaler and Thorlstone Road. You can go out there and get it. If you live out there now, you can have a beautiful Pete's Pizza. And why do I personally like Pete's Pizza? Well, because they're consistent. They use the Mancini family recipe for sauce and crust. They put that sauce on the crust. Then they take the right amount of cheese, that beautiful blend of mozzarella and brick cheese. They put it on in the right ratios so the taste comes through of both items, the sauce and the cheese. Then they cook it to perfection with fresh toppings. I'm telling you, you got to get a pizza from Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue or the new location, Thorlstone and Kaler. But don't stop there. If you like wings with your pizza, they got wings. They got poutine. They got steak and cheese poutine. They got chicken parm sandwiches. They've got steak sandwiches. They've got panzerotti. They got everything. You can't go wrong. Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue. Give them a call today, and you can go to pete'spizzavictoria.ca to get all the phone numbers. They use Skip. They use Dine. You can order right off the website. It's a no-brainer. Pete's Pizza, Victoria Avenue. Support our sponsors because they support the show. Thank you very much to our viewers and to Pete's Pizza for sponsoring the show. Okay, so the OLG, they're a lottery and gaming commission. Our favorite cash cow in Niagara Falls made their second payment to the city from the proceeds of gambling. They call it Q2. Now, it's Q3 for the city because the city's fiscal year runs from January 1st to December 31st. But for the OLG, they consider it the Q2 payment because for them, their fiscal year runs from April to February, the end of February, the end of March, April to March. So they consider it Q2. We consider it Q3. And that second quarter payment, no matter what it's called, is considered the third payment of the year for the city was $4.7 million. That's surprisingly low when you consider that they include the months of July and August, the two biggest tourist months of the year in Niagara Falls. So something isn't adding up here. I mean, 4.7 million is a nice little chunk of change. Don't get me wrong. But the busiest tourist months of the year should equal our highest payment, shouldn't it? But it didn't. That's weird. So far during the casino fiscal year, we have received 10.7 million, which means we received 6 million for April, May, June, way more than the busiest months, and that is interesting. For me, para mí. Now, tourist operators in the parks said they had a good summer, so that summer payment tells me that the people coming here are just not spending their money at casino gambling, number one. And that makes sense since a lot of them are offshore people that spend nothing. We see them all the time in Niagara Falls. Most come for the day and bring their own picnic baskets, set up tents down the park and stuff, and they don't spend a dime to use any of the facilities available here, only the free ones. Now, I'd like to know whether the NPC revenue is down for the summer as well. It appears the big spenders, Americans, could be shunning Canada as an option as well, even though the dollar is at peso level. I mean, our Canadian dollar is down and offers Americans a great bargain. So you'd think the revenue would be up at the casino, up everywhere, down the parks and everywhere, but doesn't look like it is. I don't know. We'll have to wait for the numbers from the parks, how they're doing in the hotels. So the grand total so far Niagara Falls has received in their fiscal year is 3.7 million for January, February, March, $6 million April, May, June, $4.7 million July, August, September. And we have one more quarter, of course, October, November, December to go. For a total of $14.4 million. Now, the city estimated $14 million of revenue in the 2025 budget. So we've got that already with $0.4 million left, 400,000 left over, and another payment coming. So you can see what they've done here. October, November, December has found money for the squirrel and the penguin. God bless their spendthrift hearts. Yeah, so now you got to remember too that out of the money, we have to give $3.6 million to the Niagara Regional Police for being extorted for it. I guess if they don't get that money, they're not going to patrol the casino area, which is ludicrous because, we already give them a big chunk of $213 million budget to patrol the city, and that includes the casino area. So how we're getting ripped off for this and why our city council allows it to continue to happen is beyond me. I can't think of it. Make me mayor for a week, and the first thing I'll do is try to get rid of that. Now, I'm not running for mayor, but that's a hint to anybody who might be running for mayor. This would be a good thing to talk about in your campaign. Gabish? Okay. So when we look at the numbers now, let me repeat, city does not have a revenue problem. It's got a spending problem. People keep looking for politicians to come up with answers to problems, but the politicians are the problem. We're asking them to come up with solutions, but they are the problem. So what's the solution to that? Hit road, buddy. Oh, if the people in this city would take an interest, there's very little council can do that the people can't do. If given the opportunity, I think there's a lot of people who could run the city just as good as our council. We, the people. And that opportunity comes when residents take an interest in what council is doing and get out and vote. It all boils down to that. Every 4 years, we have a say. And when 27% of you show up to vote, 27% tells the city what to do with the money, and you can guarantee that it's going to be in their benefit, not in the other 73%. Let's face it. And, they do all these surveys for how to spend this money. How do you want to spend this money? They do the surveys. Would you rather have a $40,000 pollinating meadow or a $25,000 concrete ping pong table? Here, what kind of choice is that? Two bad choices. Why don't we give them this choice? You go when they do the survey, you put $100 bill in their hand and you say, would you like to keep that $100 bill or would you like to give it back to me so I can buy a $25,000 concrete ping pong table? What do you think the answer would be? I know what the answer would be. I'm asking you what you think the answer would be. I'm just going to check my phone. I didn't hear a ding, so I don't think anybody's dinging me yet. Okay, so what do you think it would be? I'd say I keep the 100. Now, if they ask me, would you rather have the jawbreaker fixed, that section of Portage Road between Morrison and Throwstone, that'll take your teeth out, blow up your kidneys, ruin your car. Time you get to the corner there, your car's leaning one way. It's been totally destroyed going through that. Hey, you want to control speed? I guarantee you nobody goes over 20 kilometers an hour through the jawbreaker. There you go. Free advice there. Yeah, and I'll bet you they wouldn't give you the $100 to build a $17 million walking trail either. Even though they tell you, oh yeah, everybody wants that. Baloney, nobody wants that. Show me who wanted that. 2 people? Maybe 2 people, But at the end of the day, they might give the $100 back to take care of the jawbreaker. That might be a possibility. but they're going to give it back for a $25,000 concrete ping pong table. So the people in our council have to be more involved in the budget and the process, and that's where you get to spend the casino money properly. Do not accept lame excuses for faulty accounting. Even though the squirrel may have accounting degrees coming out of her yin yang, there's something to be said for common sense and morality when dealing with taxpayer dollars. And something to be said to bring in a zero budget this year. Zero-based budget. No raises. I told you before, 3.5 million erases the 6% increase they're talking about. That's all it takes. That's all it takes of the 11.2 million we have left over. It's your money they're spending. It's your money. Hey, it's up to you. It's up to you. Don't let anyone fool you. It's your money they're spending, and you should be telling them what you want them to do with it. So some good news for people in Niagara Falls, and this will save you money. It's the Niagara Sleep Cheap Days are back. Sleep Cheap Days run from November 23rd to 27th, and they offer discounted rooms to locals at participating Niagara Falls hotels. So you want to stay in a big shot hotel, one of these biggies, the Hilton, Embassy? Yeah, you can stay in there for a discounted rates. All proceeds going to worthy causes. The event was initiated in 2004 by now Mayor Jimmy Diodati, Mayor Jim, who was an alderman at the time, and is now in its 22nd year. The program has raised more than 2.6 million, an average of 118,000 a year, that is shared amongst many Niagara Falls charities. The event coincides with the Wonder Falls Pass, which offers discounted admissions to various local attractions. Details of this year's pass will be released at a later date, but many of the Clifton Hill attractions, along with Parks attractions, are included. Initiated in 2015 by Councillor Victor Pietrangelo, the pass is usually around $20 for a single, $50 for a family, with the money going to improving accessibility of parks and playgrounds in Niagara Falls. So there you go. Those days are coming up towards the end of November. Oh, look at this. A tandem bicycle. That's pretty cool. I haven't seen one of those in a long time. Hey, yeah, so you can go and get that pass to coincide with your visit to the Sleep Cheaps. And you can make reservations for the Sleep Cheap program starting at 9 in the morning on Thursday, October 23rd, this Thursday. So get on that blower, make your reservations. You can check it out at the website, Sleep Cheap, probably on the NiagaraFalls.ca website as well. And yeah, great for the residents of Niagara Falls. Great program. You get to enjoy what the tourists enjoy at probably about a quarter of the price, no, maybe 3/4 of the price or something. They make them pretty inexpensive for the rooms for locals. So it's a great day for everybody. Get down there, check it out, go for a nice dinner, and enjoy all Niagara Falls has to offer. We don't enjoy it enough, and now's our chance to do it on the cheap. Sleep cheap. Okay, what do we got now? So on Friday's show, I talked about the Niagara Regional Police budget and saw something about body cams. And Gary Wilkins had asked me about them. He said, Paul, what's up with the body cams? I haven't seen them yet. I didn't have an answer at the time, but here's the latest I have on them right now. In April of 2025, body cams were approved with a one-time cost of $1.2 million for the cameras and equipment, and would be considered as part of the 2026 budget that the police are asking for a 13.6% increase this year, taking them to almost $250 million of their budget, from 213 million to 242 million or something. Now, at the budget meeting, the camera deployment was put off until 2027 as the police board and council seek to save the taxpayers millions of dollars on the ballooning Niagara Regional Police budget. So they've been put off. So I think the money might might still not be available to buy them, but they want to buy 550 body cams, and they would cost another 2.28 million in annual operating costs that include hiring additional staff to deal with them. The move to body cams came after an overwhelming response from the public and staff saying that they would feel safer if officers were equipped with them. And 76% of the participants in the survey said the measure will improve community relations with the police. And I think this is true. I read a lot of times about the police mistreating people or being whatever. The body cams will straighten that out. Were they or weren't they? We get to look at the body cams and see what the real deal is. Because whenever there's an argument, there's one side, there's the other side, then there's the truth. Video is the truth. So the Niagara Regional Police ask of 13.6% increase was thrown out in favor of a 12.8% increase, which to most councillors was still high as they're looking for efficiencies in this ever ballooning budget. Increases are just not sustainable. I mean, they're just not, taxpayers just can't afford the NRP at this point. The region has a guidance limit of 3.5% increases for any department. Bob Gale brought that in. It was voted on, but this appears unattainable for the Niagara Regional Police as the wage increase themselves surpass that increase just mentioned at 12.8. They need that. They can't go at 3.5%, they say. This is going to be a battle, I think. I think we're going to see a battle. Stay tuned. And when Alan McKay comes in, we'll talk about it. He's probably tuned into this a little bit more, and he'll give us some insight into it. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with that. But that's a little bit of a sticking point right now. They want a lot, and I don't know if council's prepared to give them that. They've told them no. You got to come down. We'll see. We'll see where it goes. Maybe they want to renegotiate their deal with Niagara Falls for the casino money. I don't know what they're going to do. We should just get rid of that right away. Number one, find another 3.6 million of efficiencies because you're not getting the money from us anymore. Here, let me get over to my third sponsor, Hamel Machine Company. Now, Hamel Machine's been in Niagara Falls since 1948. They've been steady in 1948. And the reason they have been here since 1948 is because machine shops that are talented get to stick around because every industry needs good machine shops. Whenever an industry comes into a city, the first thing they want to know is, where's the machine shops? If we break down, who's going to help us get back going like as fast as possible? And especially in today's world where a lot of parts and that come from different parts of the world, Korea, China, Germany, South America, Middle America, Central America, if you will. They come from all over the world. They're not domestically manufactured anymore. So they could be waiting 2 or 3 or 4 days for these parts if they're even in stock. What does the machine shop do? Well, they can either fix the part or they can re-engineer it with their 3D printers and water jet cutters. They can make up a new part for them. Reverse engineer it, they call it. So that's what they have at Hamel Machine Company. They can do this kind of thing for industry. They have the talent. They have the staff. They have the engineers, the electrical engineers, everything a company needs to be up and running quickly because time is money. That's the bottom line. That's bottom line revenue. But not only does Hamel make the part, they make it better so that they get more production out of it. They've done it for the wine industry, the food industry. They've done it for the agricultural industry. They ship their innovations around the world. That's what they do over there. But they haven't forgot about you. If you need anything done, if you shear a pin on your snowblower, if you get a chunk taken out of your lawnmower deck, they can weld it up, they can fix it. If you need anything fabricated, they can do that for you. Specialty items like a gate for your backyard, whatever, they'll come in and do it. They design, they fabricate. They're just amazing over there. Hamel Machine Company, been around since 1948. HamelMachine.ca. Check it out and see the beautiful work that they do. You'll be impressed. I guarantee you. And thank you for supporting our sponsor. They support the show. They're good corporate citizens, and they're great to have in the city. And since 1948, that's amazing. That's amazing. Okay, now President Trump is set to approve a $22 billion freight rail highway project connecting Alaska to Alberta. How about that? I think it's a rail line. I don't think it's a highway. They called it a highway freight rail line, but it's a freight rail line, basically a railroad. A2A, they're calling it. Alaska to Alberta. 2,570 kilometer railway will run from Fort McMurray, Alberta, through the Northwest Territories, through the Yukon, to the Delta Junction in Alaska, where it will connect to an existing rail network and continue on to ports near Anchorage. Suck on that, Quebec. You don't want us to run it through Quebec so we can get to the East Coast? Hey, we'll just go another way here. We'll just go another way. We're going to go north to Alaska. Ship over to the ports there to go to China and Japan and the Far East. How about that one? The government of Alberta welcomes the approval from Trump and are looking forward to the railway opening new trade corridors that can unlock new markets for Alberta products. Rail will not only move oil, but can carry goods to international markets via Alaska ports. It can be used for imports as well. It's a two-way street, two-way railway. They'll be going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So there you go. It's a two-way street. They can move stuff in and move stuff out, which is a beautiful, beautiful thing. Now, of course, all environmental and regulatory approvals will have to be obtained from both the U.S. and Canada for the opportunity to create new economic development through the new range of businesses that it's going to carry. The A2A said to create 18,000 jobs in Canada for Canadian workers and bring in $60 billion to Canada's GDP through 2040. So this is a big project. This is fantastic. $22 billion. Trump's going to spend it. You want that railway running. And here's the kicker. You know how Carnage hates Trump in Alberta? He hates them both, right? Let's face it. Is he going to approve all this? Well, it may not matter as Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, the BC Interior, the Yukon, Northwest Territories all want out of Canada. So it might not work. It doesn't matter what Carnage says. Your gang of left-wing socialists, Carnage, Chiligan Carnage, is out of luck on this one. Give them any static, and guess what? They're gone. Couldn't happen soon enough. Well, it looks like that speaking of Carnage, the Elbows Up campaign launched by Chilican Carnage, Edsel Ford, and millions of out-of-touch Canadians isn't working on any level. Companies are exiting Canada for the U.S. as fast as they can, and the Canadian dollar is taking a hit and sitting at its lowest level against the U.S. dollar since 2003. The Canadian peso is alive. Thanks for nothing, you Elbows Up guys. Hopefully it's over soon as the U.S. absorbs Canada once and for all. And I just heard today that Chilican Carnage is dropping more tariffs. He already dropped a bunch of them a month ago. Now he's dropping more. He's dropping them more he used to have on the United States. I don't know what he's doing. They're not working, so he's just saying, screw it. Why bother? Why bother? And it really makes you laugh because at the end of the day, Canada is so irrelevant. It doesn't matter. Now, one American is worried about tariffs from Canada. They got everything they need in the United States. They don't need anything from Canada. And Trump's just going to put more tariffs on everything anyway. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. He's just putting more and more tariffs on stuff from Canada. And everybody says, oh, it's the Americans. No, the Americans don't pay at the end of the day because you know what happens? The plants move to America. What it does is bring in more revenue to America, hires people from America, and more tax revenue makes the bottom line better for America and things cheaper. Like Stellantis is going to go down there and close the plant in Brampton because of the tariffs. They're not going to make Americans pay more. They're going to go down there and make it there where there's no tariffs and hire 5,000 Americans and spend $13 billion over the next 4 years investing in building new plants. Like people don't get it. It just makes stuff more for America. Nonsense. Nonsense. That's why they're moving there. That's why they're moving there. The object is not more money for Americans to pay for tariffs if they want Canadian goods, because they don't care about Canadian goods. It's to make Canadian companies manufacture in the US and hire Americans and keep the prices low because they don't pay tariffs when they manufacture in the United States. How about that? And speaking of Mamalukes, how about these No Kings, the march on Saturday? I mean, this whole thing makes me laugh. No Kings, 7 million people going to march. Well, you know what? It was a big bust, really. The wackos, the rioters came out at night, and the cops took care of them real quick, and the National Guard and ICE agents and everybody else. But it was supposed to be a revolution, but it was funded by big business, the Rockefeller Center and Soros, and they're supposed to have these protest marches at 2,500 locations across the U.S. in a hate America rally and hate Trump and tiefin modern Democratic Party. Well. I mean, Soros dumped in 32 million, 75 million from the Rockefeller Foundation. Communist Party is listed as a sponsor, along with a list this long of other entities that gave money to this thing. I mean, this was very well organized and put together, and they all had nice professional signs and everything. But you know what? A lot of them just stayed for an hour and then went home. They got paid to be there. They took their hour's pay and they went home. They didn't hang around. I mean, the only things missing was funds from USAID, but they can't do that anymore because Musk and his Doge teams shut that down. So that money's gone. I think they got somewhere around $294 million from all these groups to support this alleged revolution, but it's not really a revolution. It's a big nothing burger. Big nothing burger. And, the left wants a civil war to get rid of King Trump, and he's just hammering them with memes. Have you seen them? They're friggin' hilarious. Him with a big robe and a crown on. He's flying a jet plane, and he flies over all these protesters and drops a load of turds on them. It's hilarious. And whack jobs like AOC, Schumer, Pelosi, Crockett, and Bernie Sanders are all front and center. Supporting this. But they are violent. These people. It's people told that if you're a MAGA supporter, don't wear MAGA gear to the allegedly peaceful demonstrations because you might get beat up. I mean, I think there was a No Kings rally around 1776 in the United States, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere around there. I don't know, they already had one of those. But the guys who really, really make me laugh are the Canadians. Oh yeah, there was Canadians marching No Kings. I don't know why they're marching, but it makes me laugh because we have a king. So who are they protesting? King Charles or Donald Trump? They're walking around with No King signs. So who are you protesting there, dum-dums? You're protesting Trump or you're protesting King Charles? Oh, all the hardcore protesters came out, and it was a case of FAFO. Hardcore protesters came out in Portland. They decided to cause trouble, found all they could handle with federal agents answering, no nonsense force, arresting anyone that got out of hand, and not being nice about it. I don't really get I don't know if anybody else watched it. I don't know. But did you get all these people dressed as Pikachu and Dino the dinosaur and and everything else. What were they dressed up in these inflatable costumes and everything for? I mean, pretty silly, really. A lot were wearing Palestinian shawls, those checkered things they were. But the best video that I saw, and it was hilarious. If there's all these protesters lined up down the street, like I don't know, there had to be a couple hundred lined up in a row on the sidewalk off the street, facing the street with signs. And I don't know if you've ever heard of Rolling Coal. Did you ever hear about that? Rolling Coal, it's called. Where these guys, they rig up their diesel engine trucks, right? Not pickup trucks and all that. And they got the big exhaust pipe down the bottom, right? And what they do is they have a switch where they can flood the engine with diesel. And when it does that, it blows out this black smoke. And I'm talking thick black smoke. And the guy flipped it on before this line of people and went right down the line, just blasting this big, thick black smoke. You couldn't even see him anymore. And these guys are just covered in this black, smelly diesel smoke. It was funny. Give them the Rolling Coal. Coal, it's called. Rolling Coal. Look it up on YouTube. Funnier than hell. You got to look it up. Rolling Coal. Beautiful sight when administered to these mental cases that held the No Kings March over the weekend. Where it's going after that, I don't know. The ones in Canada, I'm not quite sure what they were protesting. The King Charles, or Donald Trump. I don't know what they were protesting. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. The king is their guy. I mean, they swear an allegiance to the king. They swear an oath on the Bible. They're supposed to, but a lot of them in Canada swear it on the Quran. Now the Bible's used because the king is the supreme governor of the Church of England, and that title's been held since King Henry VIII decided to divorce his wife. The Catholic Church wouldn't give him a divorce, so he started his own church, the Anglican Church, and he named himself Supreme Governor of the Church of England. Of course, he couldn't be anything more than the governor because the true head of the church is Jesus Christ. So he's the true head of the church, and the best the king could do is be the governor. Okay, so let's get to the final thing for today. It looks like they had a peace deal in the Middle East. Everybody was celebrating. Now Hamas has broke the ceasefire deal by crossing the yellow line they made around Gaza there. And the Israelis have responded in quick order by bombing the hell out of them. And these Hamas, I'm telling you, they started this whole thing on October 7th, 2023, when they took 1,200 hostages, 250 hostages, and killed 1,200 innocent, basically slaughtered 1,200 innocent people, civilians. You notice that not even one female hostage, dead or alive, was released. And that's because there probably isn't any alive after the atrocities perpetuated on them by Hamas. They killed them all, so they couldn't talk. The only thing you got to figure, of all the females, not one managed it out of there, I don't think. I never saw one. It's all men. Now the gloves are totally off. Basically, Hamas is making crazy demands like Israel give up their nukes. And, Israel has never acknowledged they even have nukes, ever. I mean, most people suspect they do, and probably know they do, but they've never said they did. For some reason, Hamas still thinks that they're in charge. This terrorist group, they still think they're in charge here. They've refused to disarm, so now it's either disarm immediately or face the consequences, which already have been started to be delivered. The leader of Hamas says the ceasefire was only temporary on their behalf to give them a chance to catch a breather and regroup. I mean, this leader has a lot of balls to say that. He's going to find out. Now, the U.S., along with Turkey, Qatar, and Egypt, are not impressed. Vice President J.D. Vance is headed to Israel today to supervise and put pressure on Hamas to stick to the peace plan. Stay tuned for this one because it's going to get interesting over there. There could be some big problems. Anyway, we'll see what happens. Stay tuned. Stay tuned, see what happens. I think if they don't capitulate, I think they're just going to go in and wipe them all out. No holds barred, no fooling around. They killed 50 Palestinians, executed them on their knees with guns. There's video of it. So I don't think they're going to put up with much more of this. They're going to go in and wipe them all out once and for all, and that'll be the end. Peace will come, like Netanyahu said, the easy way or the hard way. And Israel doesn't care which way they choose. They can do it either way. There you go. Anyway, that's it for today. My name is Paul K. Lemire. This is Your City, Your Voice, coming to you live from the studios of 4680Q on this beautiful Monday. Get outside. It's nice out there. Sunny, partly cloudy. Just a nice, nice day. I don't think we're going to get any more rain. It don't look like it, but who knows? Who knows? Don't forget to support our sponsors, Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue, Hamill Machine Company. If you've got a business you want me to market on the show here, hey, let me know. Give me a call. Paul Lemire at coachgo.ca, 905-353-7560. You can call at the text number 289-994-7560. Message me on Facebook. If you got a business, you want me to talk about it every day, Monday, Tuesday, Thursdays, and Fridays. I do all my advertising for my businesses. Plus, it goes on YouTube, Rumble, X, and Truth Social every day. Hey, you might want to market your business and to get some more customers. And I guarantee you'll be able to afford this price. You'll be able to afford it. It's really affordable for me to talk about your stuff. Anyway, take care. Have a good day. God bless you all. Support our sponsors. Give us a like, thumbs up, thumbs down, comment, subscribe to the channel. We're at 181. I want to get to 200. So come on, let's go. Share the video. Share it with your friends. Get them to join up. Let's all get involved. Take our city back. Have a great day, everybody. We will see you tomorrow. Promises made, promises kept. Tomorrow at noon. Trash Talking Tuesday. I'll be here. Are you going to be here? We'll see.